I'm Mark Dolan, and this is GBN America. And it's official. Donald J. Trump will be the 47th president of the United States. For reaction, let's speak to TV news legend Nelson Aspen. Nelson, could you do me a favor? Could you make your great country less interesting, please? Because here we go again. It's going to be 4 years of headline, of excitement, of drama. I mean, this is unprecedented, isn't it?
It's true. There is never a dull moment, but we have to keep it that way, Mark, or you won't keep calling me back. We have to have stimulating excitement for you so that my needs are met. However, markets are surging so tremendously on the Trump victory that if you never call me again, I'll be able to retire fine.
Well, I'm pleased to hear that. Listen, the markets are happy. What about you? I mean, are you surprised by this result, Nelson?
I'm surprised that the result came as quickly as it did and as rather peacefully as it did. I expected this to be a marathon, not a sprint. I thought it would be days, if not weeks, until the matter was resolved, regardless of who was the victor. And I really did think it was neck and neck and anybody's game. It is with the hindsight of 2020 this morning, the Monday morning quarterbacking, as we call it in the States, that I'm able to look and say, you know what, she was the wrong candidate for them all along. But we didn't know that yesterday. Some people speculated about it, but I really thought she would perform better than she did.
Indeed, she started very strongly and had Donald Trump looking over his shoulder. At certain points in the race, she was well ahead. What went wrong, do you think?
Well, it would have been an easy victory for him had Biden been the nominee. So he did have more of a run for his money when it came to Kamala Harris. I think what went wrong with her is her inability to connect with the everyday American. She lacks the common touch. No matter how often she says she is a child of the middle class, when she is surrounded by people like Lady Gaga, Oprah Winfrey, George Clooney, the Obamas, the Clintons, whereas then we see Donald Trump hanging out with plumbers and McDonald's employees and driving a garbage truck. And I feel like the Democrats made the opposition feel, to use Joe Biden's word, like garbage. I felt that there was an elitist aspect that she was missing, let alone the fact that she was very vague on detail. Nothing was more masterful than Trump appearing on the Joe Rogan podcast and being able to extemporaneously speak on any subject under the sun for 3 hours was something that she would never have been able to do, even if she had accepted the invitation. So it was just a clear point of difference. I don't think it had anything to do with gender or race. It was just a clear case of the common touch versus elitism.
And what about Joe Biden? I mean, he'll be furious, won't he, right now? He didn't want to be chucked out of the race. He would like to have had a crack at another 4 years in the White House. Would he have fared better, do you think?
I don't think he would have won, but he would have probably performed better. Now, in this morning's analysis of her success and lack thereof last night, she underperformed Biden in the same states, in all of the states. So she just was not the right candidate. And now the silver lining for Democrats is they have 4 years to groom the future of the party. They can get it right next time if they start now and start grooming the next generation of leadership. When Kamala originally started talking about, we need change, we need change, we need change, and people saw right through that because she wasn't changed. She was more of the same. However, she changed the line to be, we need a new generation, we need a new generation. And I think that's the key. She should have gone with that from the beginning because we do need a new generation. And, hopefully they can get to work on that.
Clearly, American voters were concerned about the economy and the inflation that they have been suffering. The cost of living has gone through the roof. We know about, America's international commitments, including Ukraine and all the rest of it. Quite a debating point. I think the country is split on that one. Plus, of course, the southern border. But what about those culture wars. To what extent was public irritation with political correctness and so-called wokery a factor in this race?
I do feel like the everyday American was feeling out of touch with what they would see on television and read in the newspapers. And
Mm.
there is an element of that. And I think for Trump, he kept using the terms about common sense. And I feel like Americans gravitated toward that. Of course, men should not be playing in women's sports. That just seems like common sense. And people responded to that, which is why
Mm.
Trump won the popular vote in addition to the electoral college votes. But to win the popular vote for the first time, a Republican has done that in 20 years.
Indeed, of course, Donald Trump remains a divisive figure, hated by some, loved by many. How important is the scale of his victory in terms of America going forward and healing? Does he have a moral mandate now and an authority to govern?
Well, he has to follow through on his pledge to unify. You
Mm.
might recall when Joe Biden was elected to the office, he said he was going to be the great unifier and bring people back together. Of course, that never happened. Things only got worse. Now, Trump has paid lip service to the same idea. Now he just needs to follow through with that because we
Mm.
are a very fractured society. People's longtime friendships are going out the window because of political discussion. And the whole idea of democracy is to be able to have differences of opinion.
Yeah.
And there's very little of that harmony left in America. And let's hope a nice calm. If things can get calm and the prices can go down, and we have a war we have a world that's not at war, we can begin to have that unification.
Nelson, you are a titan of US broadcasting. Kamala Harris received significant support from establishment media, didn't she? I mean, you've got Fox News on the right, one or two other players, but you have to argue that CNBC, ABC, MSNBC, the bulk of the establishment media outlets were supportive of Kamala. Given her significant defeat, what does this tell us about their influence in 2024?
I think it says a lot about it. I've had a broadcasting career for over 30 years, and most of that has been geared toward the entertainment industry, pop
Mm.
culture, show business, etc. And yet, as much as I have been a part of the entertainment community, I have never understood why a celebrity has influence over personal opinions. Like
Mm.
Taylor Swift's endorsement does not convince me to do anything. In fact, quite the opposite. Celebrity endorsements, I have a knee-jerk reaction against them. So it's a questionable choice for a candidate to be saying, yes, I want to help the everyday average
Mm.
voter out there, but here I am with Michelle Obama on one side of me and Oprah Winfrey on the other side, and meanwhile Lady Gaga's playing a song. It's counterintuitive.
The Democrats will change their leader. Will they change their policy platform?
I think so. I think this is a big drift to the middle for everyone. We saw
Mm.
Vice President Harris drift toward the middle and sort of eschew some of her bygone policies of yesteryear that were further to the left. To succeed, you must find some sort of moderate middle ground. And I think the Democrats are going to do that just sort of as the Republicans have had to. I mean, nobody wants a
Mm.
party of extremes.
And tell me about the role of new media, so to speak, the podcasts, Joe Rogan. Of course, Kamala appeared on a few podcasts herself, X, The Daily Wire. Tell me about the significance of these new players and whether they, influence the outcome.
I think they absolutely do influence the outcome, just because that's the only way we get exposure to these candidates.
Yeah.
It's just very different choices. Kamala Harris going on 60 Minutes, and then the controversy over the two different answers that were edited in. Trump going on a podcast for 3 hours talking extemporaneously. We can't imagine Kamala Harris ever doing that. Speaking spontaneously for 3 hours on a wide variety of subjects is unfathomable. However, it's hard to picture Donald Trump going on to Saturday Night Live, as he has in the past, but in today's climate, going on and poking fun at himself, or going on to The View and having the ladies of The View attack him. So even the media is fractured into camps as well. But you have to pick your poison. Where do you want to get your information from? Luckily, you and I are here. We know where we want to get our information from.
Most definitely. Finally, Nelson, where do you see America in 4 years' time?
I would like a nice, peaceful 4 years with the economy back under control, the world at peace, harmony between our neighbors. We need to get immigration under control. I'm coming to you from New York City, where we have been inundated with problems from illegal immigration, the migrant crisis. And that's not just a sanctuary city problem. It's become an American problem. It's everywhere. So I'd like to see those things get under control in 4 years. Whether or not Vice President-elect J.D. Vance will be the nominee in 4 years remains to be seen, but it will be encouraging, because I'll be a certain age myself, to see a new generation of leadership coming up. It would be nice to feel as if we are in good hands with smart, sane, rational people that are not somewhere between the age of 80 and death. We need strong, physically fit, mentally fit leaders.
Nelson, couldn't agree with you more. Well, listen, you're as fit as a fiddle. Maybe you should run.
I'm going to run to check my 401k right now.
Well, that's exactly right. Listen, the drinks are on you. You don't have to worry. Enjoy that stock market. And Nelson, always the deepest privilege to have you on the show. My thanks to TV news legend Nelson Aspen. I'm Mark Dolan. Thank you for watching GBN America. For more videos of this nature, head to gbnews.com/America.